my friends, and then we'll be back to the request line next week for whatever your bodies need. You know, or I hope that you remember from previous cold months, that I always recommend staying warm. So especially, for this type of a class, we might keep our sweatshirts on. You can definitely keep your socks on for at least the beginning. And I love my space heater. So officially my basement says it's space heater season. So set that up near you if you have one. And always feel free to grab your pillows and blankets that are folded neatly so you can kneel comfortably on them, or even sit your backside on them. But to begin class this morning, this afternoon already, we're gonna find our way to standing. And just take a really big loosening stretch. So we're just gonna kind of shake out here. Oh, feels good. And when you get to your loosening, we're gonna do all the things. So if it feels kind of funny to do them all together, just take a little arm, loosening low and long, do the other arm, you can go through the legs. I try to do a little bit of everything at once. While you're doing this shaking, this energizing, this releasing, it's much easier to stretch our muscles when they get loosened up, right? That's why we'll do this in the beginning. While you're doing it, consider taking a big breath in through your nose. And an open mouth sigh, or I don't even know, lip fluttering, whatever you call that. Kind of sounds like what the horse does. And funny enough, as I was saying, I was at our horse's massages this morning, and that is a release with an animal as well. So when a horse goes, that's one of the signs that what the massage therapist is working on has released. And I was like, literally put two and two together today when I was standing there. I was like, I'm going up above, shake up here, get that energy flowing. I thought, wow, now I understand why they say that that kind of a lip flutter can release toxic energy or trauma, things that are bogging you down. You know that endless wave, that little part of our underarm we don't like to let flat? Let it flat. Oh, loosen it up. All right, let's let everything hold still for a moment. Just check in with what you're feeling. I feel like I have something crawling all over my skin. That is your new energy that you've gotten moving through your body. Nice work. Lift up through your right heel, and we'll not use our toes. The toes can be soft if they aren't clawing. Just the ball of foot is down. We're going to take some rotations for our ankles here. Go a bunch the same way, maybe 4 or 5. Then switch when you're ready. And if something ever feels really tight or there's like a click or a hitch that you need to work on, you can stay. Hang out in that spot for as long as you need. So for my friends who are joining, left heel up, guys. Toes relaxed, ball of foot down. Circle 4 or 5 times each way. For my friends who are joining, we're kind of not formatting class today. It's just a class to stretch and de-stress. Might hit a yoga pose just because it feels good to stretch through some of them. But we're not putting any flows together today. Hopefully we're going to leave class feeling really long, loose, and limber. Oh, it's going to be good. All right, shake those out again. If this is comfy for you, take your toes and just with gentle pressure, roll them under. So kind of tuck your toes under. It's my fave. You should feel a little stretch, or you may feel a stretch in the top of your foot, front of ankle, and possibly even up into your shin. And sometimes when we get a big feeling, we might want to go, really let go in that area. Feels good, right? Come on to the other side if that was okay for you. Oof, this is one of my faves. When I'm sitting a lot during the day, or even like with one foot while I'm driving, anytime I can get a hold of my toes, I'm going to do this for a few seconds. Movement is medicine. Keep that blood flowing. Great work. Let's take a release. Stretch out if you need to. Find 4 corners of feet in a really stable alignment. So I have my heels outside my hip bones, just a little outside hips with distance. Stretch your fingers and your arms open as wide as you can. Feel the webbing on your hands opening. Oh, feel that stretch? So good. Clasp your hands, right thumb on top behind your low back. Stretch knuckles down, lift heart space up. Now you may all of a sudden feel a whoop opening in your belly and ribs. We're going to try to tuck that in, yogis, taking out the back bend and lengthening here. Think about your heart lifting skywards. So good. Bend your knees a bunch. Let your ribs rest on your thighs as you find your way down to forward fold. You can keep your thumbs right on your low back, or maybe it feels nice to stretch skywards. If you feel smushed in your neck, my friends, draw the bottoms of your shoulder blades in towards your spine. Give your neck lots of room to move and then shake it no for a sec. Any speed that feels good for you. Let some tension fly out of your ears and off the tips of your hair. Release your hands, slow down any shaking of your head and neck, and place your hands anywhere, whether they're on the floor or your legs. Lift them halfway and just try to pull your knees higher up towards your thighs so that you feel a bit more stretch in the backs of your legs. Take an in-breath, wait for your blood pressure to normalize from that forward fold. And as you exhale, bend again, sweep arms to the sky, stretch up, clasp palms, and then flip them skywards. Yes, that feels so good. Oh, we needed this, didn't we? Take another big stretch in. Feels good in my rib cage, my sides. It feels like I was kind of hunkered down all day, and now I'm finally stretching open. I hope you're finding the same. Now you can let your palms flip back down to skull. We're gonna take a lean to your right, and then just come right back up. Lean left, a little tick-tocking here. Draw your navel in like it wants to kiss your spine. And that way we're protecting the low back as we move. Now, if you still feel congestion in your low back, you can reach a little off to the front diagonal. Rather than straight to the side, moving to the front will help us get a little space in our low backs. Oh. Let's try 3. 2 more. And last one each way. I keep my eyes down as I move here, letting the back of the neck release. Back to center, inhale. Exhale, clasping left thumb on top behind your low back, and we're gonna wrap that around our left ribs. Now, if it's too much for you to wrap around there, you can just release left fingers and press your right forearm into your low back. Either way, we wanna work into that right shoulder a little bit. My friends, lift up through the crown of your head, maybe even wiggle up, because wiggling feels fun. Yeah, and then we'll let the left ear fall left. Again, if it feels tight in the back of your neck, tuck down, making all adjustments that feel more comfy for you through your stretches today. Stay soft in your body, soft in your knees here. The softer we are, the less energy we expend accidentally. Strong and forceful uses a lot of energy, right? Staying soft and easy will help us conserve. Come on back into the center. Release the arms, give them a shake out, and then just a few times, my friends, look to your right and your left. Try to loosen up your neck. Keep your chin about parallel to the floor. Oh, that was nice. Okay, come on back to center with your eyes. Same thing, but you choose any thumb on top, clasp behind low back, wrap the right side body. And remember, if that doesn't work, just let the right forearm fall and your left forearm hug the low back. Tall as we can make ourselves, inhale. As you exhale, ear falls to the right, or remember, we can drop our chin to the right collarbone. Ooh. So we're looking to feel something from about our earlobe all the way down through the outer shoulder. And it may wrap a little around the back if you took that chin tuck. While you're pausing here, just mindfully breathing, consider closing your eyes and seeing yourself in a mirror. Or if you have a really good mind's eye, just envision a mirror in front of you, taking a peek at yourself. And reminding yourself, I am enough just as I am. I am perfect as I am. Come back to the center. Eyes forward, arms relaxed. And as you look right and left, we say last time with our mind's eye, we're still looking at ourselves. I have everything I need. I'm really working on these affirmations, which are positive statements. Come on back into the center. Take a big clasp behind your skull. And with a little bit of pressure, my friends, draw elbows forward, soften knees, stay upright in body, but tuck chin to chest. Hold here and breathe. So I'm working on these positive affirmations. Affirmations can sometimes sound corny because it's like, I don't really believe what I'm saying, but that's the point. The point is to bring in something into your lives that you would like to have, to embody a way of being, a way of living. And if we say them to ourselves 1 time a day, 100 times a day, 200 times a day, whatever we do, we will speak them or think them into truth. Lift up. Now we do flare our belly forwards. We just held a cat. Now we lift up. Heart space still rising, but allow your sternum and ribs to open. And we're holding a cow. Think soft knees still. Tailbone pulling back, head pressing back. Our elbows have become wide. And while the cat opened our whole back body, the cow is opening our what? You feel it. Let that breath come in and flood your newly open, big, beautiful lungs. The best. Okay, come back to center when you're ready. Take the arms and tap your shoulder head. Now we'll just take this as an option. You might like to step feet a little wider. And we're gonna twist, my friends, side to side. If you'd like, you can lift your heels. On this one, I'm actually gonna say small in my twist, but I'm not lifting my heels so I can really feel it in my core. If you feel like you could make your arms bigger, bring them to goalpost. Did you notice right away how that makes it a bigger twist? Yeah. And if you want them even bigger still, I love this one. You can open your arms wide and kind of swing your wings from side to side. Knees are soft and pliable here. Eyes can follow that back hand if it feels good. It's another really energizing twist for our mood. I like to think about sending the funk out, twisting away the nonsense. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly make your way back to center. It might take a while. Don't force that. Shake things out again. Great, great job. Now, if you've got a wall or a solid piece of furniture that you're not going to knock down, maybe come to that. You might not need it. We're going to pick up our right foot. Just gently move from a quad stretch into a knee hug. Moving back and forth here for a moment. Okay, let's hold the next quad stretch we get to. And a couple of adjustments. We want to come out of our back bending again. So once you find it, if you're here, thrusting your heart space forward, we want to think about aligning our knees side by side, tucking tailbone down. That might kick your knee forward, so realign your knee. Lifting up brighter in your chest space. Nice. And then finally, a little kicking energy into our right hand. That feels good, yeah? So once we can really localize that stretch, now we just want to take ourselves and breathe there. Be present and cultivate this loving energy for your right thigh, opening up in the front of your right hip as well. Especially after being seated all morning. If you were in your desk, this one's for you. All right, so we're not doing yoga per se today. We might have a little balance in here. Stay with this leg if possible and pick your knee up towards your chest. Hug on with the right hand. Now we're gonna switch, take a little twist. Left hand holds the thigh, right hand to your hip, look at that right elbow. And my friends, if you're wiggling all over the place like me, you may wanna tap your right toes down. Find your balance. You can stay with this version of the twist or re-lift when you're ready. If you have a little more balance to give, reach back with your right fingertips, open your palm, take a big old beautiful stretch in. Big breath, top ahead through the bottom of your foot. Be tall, be open. Exhale, swiggle forward. Swiggle. I meant to say swivel. Bring your right hand to me like a stop sign. Stop. Good. In the name of yoga stretching. Pull back on your fingers. Your thumb wants to be lazy and point towards me. So try to get that guy to pull back towards your tummy as well. Sorry, my vocabulary just reverted to when I had 1-year-olds. I don't know how that came out of my mouth just then. It was a little weird. Spin your fingers down towards the floor. Now you might like to grab the fingers again. I almost try to hold on to the heel of hand, like the knuckle area, the palm. That feels like a bigger stretch to me. And your thumb wants to get lazy, pull it back towards your stomach. There we go. Got my adult yoga vocab back. One more big breath in. Really push the heel of your hand forward. Feel that forearm opening? Oh yeah, release. Now it may take a second for that tenderness to move away. Take a tiny fist and just take a few rolls. Oh yeah, in each direction. All right, so you might move to the right for your balancing supports. Lift up through your left foot to butt. And then right away, we'll just squeeze to release our hip. Tiny quad stretch, tiny hip release. If you have a tight back, when you do hip release here, you're gonna feel a stretch in that area of your back. That's really nice for you to do. Next time you get to quad stretch, we're gonna hang out. Your right arms can do anything if you don't need them for balance. Align the knees, tuck your tail, stay tall. Breathe. That should have been number 1. And then kick with your left foot. Put a little pressure into that hand. You know it's there. Yes. Okay, now we know where we want to become present. Really staying with the front of your left hip and down through your kneecap. If you found a big, big stretch, soften away the tension your jaw or your facial features may have collected. Try one more big breath in. Nice. As you exhale, pick it on up. Hold for a sec, and when you find your balance, we're going to twist to your left. Right hand will hold the outer thigh. Left hand to hip, eyes follow your left elbow back there. Remember, if you need to stay low for extra support, please do. If you're going bigger, let the left fingertips reach back. Now, yogis, if your whole left hip picked up, we're not getting a good stretch here. So let's try to re-square our hips. Level from left to right. Back forward on that full body exhalation. And as you soften everything down, woo-wee, grounded leg, hello. Shake out. And then we're gonna go stop. Pull back on those fingers, thumb included. Pressing forward through a soft elbow. Oh, that's so good. Coming the other way, fingers down, and as we pull back, you might want to come a little higher. I actually like hold on to my hand with my knuckles. My thumb is right on the back of the knuckles. Then move that thumb away again. Ooh, okay, big stretch. Now we should really feel our forearm, right? Okay, so we got a lot of opening for our inner wrist and our forearm here. Give a shake out when you're done. Maybe you make a small fist and circle that left arm each way. Ooh, that was a big one for me. Okay, now we want to get the top of our wrists. So we're bringing the backs of our hands together and your thumbs face your body. Even just doing that, if you give a little push activation and you'll feel that, right? Top of wrist. Cool. Now, I like to, if you want to join me, we do a little, see how I'm tick-tocking? Just like a pendulum swing there. Sometimes your hands kind of fall apart. So I'll interlock my knuckles, interlace my knuckles. Yeah, a little easier to stay together once they're interlaced. Oh, I love that one. And then you can do one more little rotation forward and back. Some people like to go all the way around. Can you see that? If you're not sure, kind of go all the way around. And if you did that, you might want to go the other way. Sometimes I'll just kind of go forward and back in a slow-mo though. All right, great job, my friends. Shake that out. Shimmy it out. Reach up and over with your right arm, but we're gonna take a bit of a bigger stance. Soften into our knees and then press the left hand into the hip so we can take this big side bend. Try to really awaken. And if you have a hard time envisioning what's happening, you can always touch your body. So if you come back to center, you really can't even feel the space between your ribs, right? When you come over, well, there it is. And then we can breathe into those newfound spaces. Try to lift your right rib up and out of your hip. Yes. Take a really beautifully brightening breath. Think about bringing light, energy, Lightness as in throwing the shades open and moving away all the dark, dusty stuff from the right side body. Center, ooh, that was a big one. Left arm rise. Right hand can help you with soft knees, push hips over. And as you lean over, if it's tough to imagine what you've done here, try to find your ribs with your right fingers. Yes. Remembering, if you have congestion in your low back as we side bend, where do you want to reach? Yeah, you'll still get the side, but you'll take a little bit of that energy out of that squeezing back and kind of stretch open there as well. Envision your brightness and your lightness moving to whatever you feel. All the way back in. Nice work. All right, we're going to sit soon. One more cat pose. Hug your right arm over your left. Work your fingers to try to get a hold of your shoulder blades. Elbows tuck down, belly pulls in, and then our eyes follow the elbow. So this bigger cat will move down into our middle and low back, we hope. Now, while I hang here, I like to get a little side to side, kind of like your favorite slow jam just came on, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna move to the music, kind of a feeling. When you're ready, take a rise again, let the arms float back, open your fingers and stretch, just give your chest space, let your breath get full again. Other way, let's go left arm on top, give a hug, give a big, big hug. Oh yeah, can you reach the back of your shoulder blades? It's okay if you can't. Bend your knees a little bit and just kind of hang here. Oh, that's so good. Optionally, moving a little side to side if it feels good. Take a big breath in, unclench your jaw. And as you're ready to release, roll to rise, open back, reach back, open everything wide, left to right. And soften back down. If you have a wall, I highly recommend using it. If you have a very heavy piece of furniture that you're not going to push across your room, use it. When you use your wall or furniture, hands at or below shoulder height, our left legs are going to take a big step back. You decide whether heel is lifted or flat. It's all up to you, whatever feels best. But when we get there, we'll bend into our right knee. And then remember, hands high jams the shoulders. Hands low, nice and soft. Easy on the shoulders. Good work. Okay, now let's see what we could let go of, yogis, as we're getting into that left leg. Could you let go of any funny facial expressions? How about energy in your right toes? Can they tap around a sec? Well done. Now we feel our calf in the left leg, yes? But to get a different part of the calf, let's bend that left knee a little and then push it back straight. Take a few more like that. Breathe in for one and then out for the next. Moving slowly with your breath as your guide. Well, after we did all that wrist stretching, your wrists might be really tired, mine were. So I flipped my fingers down and they feel a lot better this way. And find your favorite spot on that left calf and just hang out there for an extra breath. Ooh-wee. Okay, we did that. Let's lift up. Step that left foot in, and you might need something for that ankle. That's massive, right? So you can retuck your toes, you can re-spin around, and just shake it out. Ooh, baby. Good? Okay, lift up through your left knee. Cross over. Now remember, you choose low anytime you need it. Cross over for figure four. Yes, I can still use my wall, one hand or two. We're going to get into that left glute now. So sitting back. Now, if you're crossed over the thigh, watch that your hip doesn't fall all the way to the right. We're going to tuck that back in. If you choose your lower option, when you sit back, you're going to have a little movement right. That's okay down here. Breathe into your right hip. Breathe into your left hip. Oh, that's the one. Push out with the left knee and down, not with your hands, don't force. Just use the power in your hip flexor there. And then if your hands or your forearms are resting on your leg. Try to soften into your shoulders and keep your neck really spacious. Oof. Breathe into both sides again, inside, outside, your hips, pelvis, groin, cheeks, all of the areas. Finding a sense of peacefulness within us and around us, above us and below us. Oh boy, that's a big one. Let it go when you're ready, shake out. So after I do that one, I definitely need a little bit of a release. If you sway your hip to the left, you can just kind of pulse there. You can move a little bit like a moon, half moon, or you can just kind of sway side to side or full circle. It's a full moon. Not really, don't be full moon in May. I can see you, you know. Okay, come back to center when you're a little looser, the big one. And we're gonna find our support again if you used it. If you didn't have anything, my friends, it's okay. Step your right leg back, and then you could just kind of rest on your left thigh. To get bigger, if you don't have a push, you can reach your body forward. We wanna go long from that right foot. Heel could be lifted or not. Oh my, I think the wall is my best friend ever. This feels so good today. Oof. Especially if you spend a lot of time outdoors. You know, you're cleaning up, fall cleaning. Oh, the yard is crazy now, huh? Well, the muscles seem to get really cold and really tight. They need extra love this time of year. Once you feel really good with this stretch, let's take that little bend into the right knee and then press back and down. Little bend. So what we're doing, keep going, yogis, as we move here, is that we're moving from like the meaty part you could grab with your hand to the part of your calf that's closest to the bone. We get lots of love for the whole thing. Now, which one's your fave? Stay. I'm going for the full shebang. Stay here for a moment. It's funny because on the other side, I felt like I liked the bend better. This one, I like the straight better. So as much as we aim for symmetry, we don't have identical sides of our bodies. So we take care of them as they need. Okay, relax that. You might need to shake out things. Whatever feels like it needs a release, give it to it. Right knee rises. You know you can just tap right across the toes, ankle, or the thigh, you choose. Now, if you cross up off the floor, try to flex your foot, keeping ankle, knee, and hips safe. Man, oh man, this is a big one. It's a big muscle group, so it's not a change that we can make to lessen this tension or lengthen the muscle in 30 seconds. We need to spend 5 breaths here if we can. Find your balance, use your supports, don't challenge yourself too much. There we go. If you find a support, it's going to help you get so much deeper in your stretch. So don't ever think of that as a crutch. Think of that as a really helpful tool. Find something that allows you to get where you need to go. Now, I have a bad example of this right now because I am so tight in this hip, so my shoulders are at my earlobes. I'm like, in that, right? So when you can, soften through your face, soften through your arms and your shoulders. Try to find softness anywhere that's not getting a stretch right now. One more if we can. Now, you're always welcome to stay longer, but 5 in this big muscle group is a minimum. Breathe around it, within it, front, back, left to right. Exhale, rise. Woo, okay, shake that out. Holy smokes. Once you've shaken all that out, we're gonna finally get all on our legs and find a seat, the best. Come down as softly as you can. Oh yes, this is gonna be awesome. Tick-tocking to release that energy. So lean back, uplift your heart. And when you find your feet really wide, gently moving them side to side. Does that feel good or what? Especially after that big stretch. Remembering when you feel big like that, you can go, let it go. Great, great job. Now for a moment, you may like to knock knees together. Feel a little looser in the outer thighs and hips. Okay, let's go inner thighs. Step feet under knees. Scoot your butt anywhere. It could be really close to your heels. I tend to go further back. So mine looks more like a diamond. And we'll let the knees come open, but here's where you might need some props, yogi. So if your knees are poking skywards, it's just saying, hey, my hips feel tight today. So when we put props underneath our knees, we support them. Whatever feels good. Stay lifted, fold. We could use our hands or our forearms and our body weight to do a little leaning side to side. And whenever we use an assist like this, it's gentle. It's an invitation rather than a forcefulness. Just checking in here, really becoming introspective, moving intuitively. So as soon as I folded, I realized that I had the kind of a crimp in my side. So I did a little halfway fold twist. You'll know what you need. Check in with your body. Be here now. Come on back to the center. Sit up really tall. So if that means you have to shift your backside around to help you form this foundation, please do. And then our left hand will find our right lower leg somewhere, from your toes to your knee, whatever feels good to grip. Right hand behind you to sit you tall. Take an inhale. Broaden up through the collarbones, lengthen your torso, and then exhale like a sigh as you twist to the right. Oh my, that felt good. Kind of letting yourself slide into your twist when you sigh like that. I love it. One more big inhale. You might try the same. Inhale, sit taller. Maybe let a sigh slip out. And back to the center when you're ready. Before we go anywhere, again, let's lean back. Keep what you have with your legs, but just open up your chest. Let that twist come undone. Find lots of spaciousness to breathe into. Awesome work. Have a seat on upright again. Right hand will hold something on the lower left leg, and the left hand will give us that boost. Inhale, tall. However it feels good during your exhale, to swivel your body left. I usually try to take my eyes all the way back towards that back arm. So I'm going to try to look over my left shoulder this time. And when you move your eye gaze like that, just ensure that your facial features are still chillaxing. No scary faces, even though it is spooky season. Try one more breath like that. Easy in. And full body out. Back to the center when you're ready. Lean back. You might need to walk back with your hands in your butt because we're going to straighten our legs. Let the toes find the sky. And as you come back upright to seated, we press our palms right next to our thighs. But if it's hard to reach palms, try to do fists with your knuckles down. Wherever you go, I would love for you to push so much that it feels like you grew 3 inches. Take a big in breath from the top of your head to your tail. Feel how light your upper body is, almost like floating, yeah? Nice job. Now without shrinking, reach your fingers to the sky. Got to use your core a little here. Keep your toes flexed back towards your hip bones and then reach for them. Reach for them. Doesn't matter if you touch them, but go long. Stay really, really long in your chest, in your spine, in your fingers. And on your next exhale, let everything fold down. And you can roll and round. I prefer toes flexed for this first one. And after we take a couple breaths, we can option the toes loosening as well. But for now, let's really focus deep in the belly of our hamstring muscle. If you want to use your hands for some extra action, you can hold the sides of your mat. You can hold something on your legs or the outer edges of feet or toes. Let's go for one more really big breath in here. And when you're ready to exhale, give yourself permission to let go in your leg. So when I do that, my toes flop out. to the sides. No energy. We're not holding ourselves in any specific way. If you feel like maybe you could fold a little deeper, go for it. Another way to use our props, our soft things, is to put those under our belly here and hug and round over our supports. Sliding hands under shoulders when you're ready to rise. If you're like, no way, Jose, then stay. Because I know this is one of my faves too. We're gonna get more hands though, I promise. So the left heel will come to the middle of the mat and your right heel will roll over it. Left knee remaining soft as we fold with no particular reach or flex, just kind of fold and find what feels good. Definitely taking some slower breaths here if we can manage it to give our body time to let the breath make its way through all these obstacles, these twists and turns we've created. For extra, move your hands to the right, all the way outside. So I like to come to my forearms. Sometimes I'll use my left hand on my leg somewhere to help me reach out there. And if any tension collected in your teeth, in your jaw clenched, try to let that go. Coming on back to the center. Keep your fold for one more in breath. And on your exhale, use your hands to help you sit back up. Very nice. That's a big stretch for the right leg, yeah? Come on in, bend that knee. And because we did so much folding, we want to open, your legs can be as wide as you like. You're gonna hug onto your right knee and left hand pushes down to open your twist. Open chest away from right knee. If you want more, I move my right hand inside and then my upper arm gives a little bit of assisting, a little bit of leverage there. Well, I love an open twist because it feels almost as good on the spine, but then you've got all this room to breathe. It's like a beautiful luxury. And back to the center. Well done, yogis. Left ankle on top. I just saw an ant. Bear with me while I smush it. Left ankle on top. Oh, the joys of doing yoga in a basement. There's all kinds of critters that join us. Guess that makes sense for spooky season. And we're gonna reach on forward. You could find softness or you can find a lot of energy, whatever suits you in the moment. And you're always welcome to linger where we start. But if you'd like to add that little twist, we're gonna take our hands to the outside, left side, yogis. And if possible, you might get your right elbow down there. Help yourself around that corner a little. Maybe you even land on your forearms. You might even stretch long. It's all about what you need and what feels best for your body. Try softening through your jaw here and letting go even more if there is any extra to give. Swivel back into the center if you took that twist. Take an in-breath here, no rush. Then use any of your next out breaths to help you back to seated. Hands down under shoulders, uncross your left leg, and let's slide it in. You can be as wide as you want in your legs. Left hand will give it a hug. Right hand down to the mat. We're gonna take that little swivel to the right. And if you'd like more, your left arm, oh yes, can come inside. Help you twist, unravel. Take a big, beautiful breath in. Lots of space to fill up now. Coming back to center when you're ready. Beautiful job, my friends. Woo. Let's get out of those hamstrings. Bend both of your knees Take a hold on the back of your thighs, and we're finally gonna make it to our backs. So roll on down. You can lift your heels, let your knees rock back with you. Oh, it's a place to be. Once you get back, hold on to your knees or your shins and gently move your rocking side to side. Oh, this is what it's all about. Just loving on our bodies, taking time for ourselves. And it's so cliche, but it's so true. You know, the big thing they say these days, self-care isn't selfish. But how true is that? When you feel better, you do better, you are better, you're nicer. Maybe I'm just speaking for myself. Everyone benefits once we take care of ourselves. Am I right? I'm right. All right, my friends, let's go outer thighs again. So we're gonna cross our left thigh over the right, or you could think about your knees. And as you remain back here, tuck your chin to your chest so that you have a long back of neck. Your hand will hold the opposite knee, or you could slide on down any low you want to go. I'm going to hold the outside of my feet. And when we get to where we have a good hold, we'll think about pulling our heels towards our butt, and then use your belly. Crunch your left knee towards your chest. So try to pull it all the way in. Now we're looking for sensation on the left outer thigh, down into your glute and your hip. Same spot we stretched for our standing figure 4 earlier. Remember, when you feel something really big, feel free to open mouth side and let go. And if that feels silly or not yourself, you don't want to do it, just give yourself permission in your mind. Release, let go, let that heavy burden slip away. Keep on hugging. Sometimes we get lazy, we forget, and our knees point skywards. Not a bad thing, but it's so much deeper if you bring your knees back to your chest. So you notice? Yeah. All right, let it go when you're ready. So now we'll bring hand to same knee and let it fall open. Do a little kickstand underneath your outer knees and just check in with your inner thighs and hips. Are they feeling like they want more? If they do, we could bring our hands inside. So I just have my elbows resting on my inner knees. My knees didn't actually open anymore, but it feels much bigger on that groin, pelvis, and inner thigh stretch. That was nice. Okay, let's go right thigh or knee over the left. Remember, your chin is tucked so your neck is long. And then we'll hold the opposite outer knees, or feel free to slide anywhere down those legs. Think about heels hugging your hips. And then we have to use our strong core. Do a little crunch in, right knee towards your chest. Let's take our attention, our love, our breath focus down to the right outer thigh and hip. When I breathe in an area that feels tension, I like to envision pinpoints of light there. And each time I exhale, the lightness grows as the tension disappears. So that pinpoint might become like a golf ball or a soft ball, a volleyball, and a huge beach ball, big, bright, white lightness inside that area. Let go with a big sigh anytime you need. When that has been enough for you, let the legs fall back to where they were a moment ago. But this time, yogis, we're going to bring the hands to the inner outer thighs, extending the left leg only. A little bit goes a long way. It might not need to be straight. We'll get a bigger stretch this way. Let's work on the left leg only. If your leg naturally falls down towards the bottom of your mat, that's probably the easiest place for you to land. So we like to toe the line of discomfort or challenge to find some change. If that happens to you, you might want to guide it up towards your ear. Yeah, I might find something new, something a little tighter there. Come on back to a bend with that leg when you're ready, no rush. And do the same for your right, a little straightening or a lot. And if it naturally falls to one comfy, cozy spot, try to find a new one today. It might not stretch as big, but that was because it's necessary. We want to get a little open in that area like we are in the other. Ooh, I'm holding on to the outside of my leg and trying to guide it a little bit further out and down. Work that breath and that openness all the way across your pelvis and groin. So if you fell over to that side, you lost that. Come back to your back. Try to really send energy over the front body so you stay grounded and lengthen as you widen. Rebend when it's good. Hug your knees back in towards your chest. Step your feet flat and push through your heels to lift out of your hips. They'll rise off the ground, and we just want to come into the front of our hips that we just opened so much and let them feel strong again. I like to think about settling the hip bones back into our hip sockets, squeezing through the butt to give the front of our hips some beautiful opening. Reach your arms all the way overhead as much as your space will allow. Take another huge inhalation here and be really patient with your hips. As you exhale, try to reach fingertips all the way back to the ground by your sides and land at the same time your hips do as they slowly descend. Never fails. My hips always win. Feet come wide again, knees knock together. And for my friends who need some time to get situated for a 2 p.m., it is now 1:55. If you don't have to leave, don't move. But if you do have to leave, think about lifting one arm back overhead and rolling to that side. This is such a caring, loving stretch. It feels like we're taking good care of ourselves here, doesn't it? Your top hand will press you around the corner and you'll slowly make your way out of class today. Thank you for coming. For those of us who are still here, we're going back into our hamstrings. Let's send our left leg to the sky and we'll hold anywhere on the back of that leg. Now, if this feels tight again, do a few bends and straightens. Soft knee the whole time. Yeah, and then when it feels good, we'll give it a nice tug. If you'd like, you can relax the right leg out long. One breath in your hamstring stretch, and then we're doing a final twist for each side. During your exhale, left arm opens, eyes move left as your leg falls to the right. If the twist is too much, rebend your knee and gently let the knee fall to the right instead of the straight leg. Don't worry about what's elevated, what's landed. Just worry here about finding breath. It's challenging through all these twists and turns. This reconnection to our breath, though, is what our yoga teaches us to do in the most challenging situations. So when you're stuck in traffic, or a checkout line, when you're settling yourself in for the evening and your mind is racing a million miles an hour, when you're in the middle of a dispute with someone, come back to your breath. Ground and center yourself with these slow, nurturing breaths. To release from twist, eyes to sky, I always rebend my leg so it feels much kinder and roll back into the center. You might want to do a little tick-tock side to side with that knee. And then we'll step that foot flat and reach our right toes to the sky. If you're feeling extra cold or tight, bend and straighten a few times. Feels good. All right, and we're going to hang on for one big breath. Let your left leg Slide out if you'd like. And when you're ready, we'll move into twist, leg to your left, bent or straight. I'm doing a little half-sies. Got like a 45-degree bend here. Eyes move to the right as your right arm extends. And we'll try to stay for 3 breaths. When you're feeling ready to move on, eyes to sky. Gently bending right knee, let it fall back to the center. Arms wide, let that knee do a little, few inches each way, tick-tocking side to side. It is joined by your left knee, and we'll do the same as our friends who just departed, letting an arm reach overhead so we can turn comfortably to that side. Just rest for a moment. I know they have a lot going on. We have a lot going on this afternoon. But we'll take 1 more minute here to slowly move. Top hand presses you down, and we'll gently roll around the corner to our tabletops. So find the smartest way for your body. I'm going to shift back to a crouching position. Hands are walking back towards toes, and our hips are lifting so that we can dangle with the upper body, hang heavy in your fold, and then take an inhalation to fill you up with lightness, calm, energy, a sense of feeling centered and grounded as we rise. Arms sweeping up towards the sky and drawing a loving hug down over our heart center with the reminder that we are everything we need. We are perfect just as we are. And in your yoga today, you discovered hopefully a calmer, more looser, more open version of you that will carry you through the rest of the day, perhaps even the whole weekend, with this sense of lightness. Kind of like going with the flow. Anything goes. I feel a little better now. Very nice, yogis. Thank you so much for joining me for all of these stretches. I hope that it benefited you in some way or a lot of ways, and I hope you feel as beautiful as I know you are. My light treasures you. Namaste, my friends, until we see one another again sometime soon.